Josh Darrow, Larry Bluestein, AutoNation Gridiron Report here on SouthFloridaHighSchoolSports.com. So last week,
popular show this is. This segment it's the most popular segment. Everybody rushes to it. You put it up on that the Twitter and boom.
The internet, I think it actually explodes. There actually might be a malfunction on Twitter when we upload this to the internet. So anyways, so what they're going to love this week, they're going to love the defensive players that we are going to talk about that have made some giant strides here in the offseason. Clearly, again, not the only four, just four we've picked out. Spring ball's right around the corner. So here are four guys to look for in the spring and guys who have really benefited their recruiting process here in the offseason. We're going to start with a kid that we both love. He's going to be part of a stellar defensive team that just only won, the state championship 3 of the last 4 years. And now I'm talking about Furman Silva of Miami Central.
What a great kid. I mean, this is somebody that, you have your defensive linemen who like hang out, they eat, they lift, that's all they do, get stronger. This guy wants to be with the receivers. He wants to be a receiver. He's so athletic, he can do all these things. Play linebacker, he told me he could play corner. I said to him, could you cover these kids? And we were up in Orlando. I told you a story about him. He fell asleep, didn't even play all of a sudden. Next thing I look over, he's catching a touchdown pass. This is one of those guys, he's a disruptor. When Warren Sapp was at University of Miami, I remember the coaching staff said, you'd ask a question, why is Warren off on the side? It's because he's a disruptor, and we don't need that in practice because we have to at least,
try and get something done.
Yeah, something done, and that's the way he is. I mean, he'll get to you quick, he'll hunt everybody down, you double team him, and then you pay from the other side now. So what a quality football player, great teammate. I think that has to be said, and he works extremely hard, comes from some great family, and the family is very supportive of him.
Well, when you speak of defensive backs at Killian, the first name that should come to mind is Jaquan Johnson. But there's another defensive back at Killian that you may not have known about a few months ago, but you certainly should know about him now. And if you don't know about him yet, we're going to know about him right now. And that is Sheldrick Redwine. So he's got a very unique name with a very unique look with the long dreads.
Like it?
He's got good size, good length. He plays DB, and he's a kid that people will get to know very soon.
Big ball hawk. I mean, if the ball's in the air for any length of time, he's got the frame. He's over 6. I think he's almost 6'1". I mean, his leaping ability is crazy good. This is one of these guys last year when all eyes were on Jaquan. Mine too. I'm probably guilty of it too. But on the other side, everybody kept saying, you got Bruce Davis, and you got this other kid, Redwine, and you go back there.
Remember, Tremaine Washington was on that team
exactly, too. Yeah. And this year they'll be just sick defensively. I mean, they're good, but this is somebody who started the 7-on-7 season. We knew about him because we watched him. We saw him down the stretch in those crazy games, the Mud Bowl game, which was a game that obviously that's a game they could have used some big plays in. This is a guy that brings it all. And in college, you see he's this big. He does so many good things. I mean, what's not to like? And yeah, Jaquan Johnson's a superior football talent, but Redwine's not that far behind. And if he is at all, I mean, from an athletic standpoint, so that whole secondary is crazy. I mean, just crazy good. You bring up a key player in Washington that they lose, but wow, now they're just stacked everywhere in the secondary, and that's going to be one of our. I know JT was trying to start a debate who has the best secondary. I think Killian's right there, and Redwine's one of the reasons.
All right, so Furman Silva, Miami Central, cornerstone of that defense. Sheldrick Redwine, thank you. Defensive back in a very talented Killian secondary. This group, he's talented. Man. That's
You're
Larry.
Very good.
It's Larry. I'm Josh. Another edition of the AutoNation Gridiron Report here on SouthFloridaHighSchoolSports.com.